bridging health cover mental health care in India. Now look, whenever there is a physical illness, for example, there is some disability or someone has fallen or there is an accident, but we get more emotional. But when someone is mentally, even that person doesn't told okay, what is the problem, because it is considered what it is considered as a social stigma in our country. So with regard to the mental health prevailing in the country, we're going to discuss all the aspects. So mental health care is now covered at par with physical illnesses across health insurance plans in India following the Mental Health Care Act 2017 and IRDAI directive. So the thing is what? Look, if there is a physical illness, for example, someone has heart problem, then if someone is having mental problem, now the insurance companies are claiming it, they are covered at what? They are covered at par with each other. Physical illness is equivalent to what? It will be considered in the insurance plans also. Following what? Following the Mental Health Care Act 2017. This milestone will help people to see mental illness with the same lens they use for physical disease. For example, if someone got a physical disease and on the other side there is a person with mental illness, so you see mental illness, there is an isolation and that person doesn't tell the society or his near or dear ones okay, what is happening to me. So now the insurance companies are doing it what? They are keeping it par with the physical illness also. So what is the global impact? Global and national impact. So at the global impact, globally if you look, mental health conditions affect approximately 1 in 5 adults globally. So out of 5 adults at the global level, 1 adult is what? Mentally ill. Second is economic burden. So obviously now one is in mental healthy state, other is in mental unhealthy state. Which is good for the nation or the globe? Mental healthy state is important or mental unhealthy state is important? Obviously mental healthy state is important. Now let's say if out of 5 adults, one adult is having this thing, then it puts what? It puts an economic burden. So WHO has recognized that there is an annual productivity loss of over $1 trillion. Because of mental illness, economy is what? Economy is having a loss of how much? $1 trillion due to untreated mental health issues. Okay, we are not treating. So, other is growing awareness in India. Now, there is an awareness, or you can say there is a momentum behind the mental health issues in India, but there are many challenges which are still persisting in the country. So, awareness is there. Earlier, whenever someone was having a mental condition or was in, let's say, mentally not well, society used to pressurize him or used to isolate him. Okay, he or she cannot do anything. Now, yes, they recognize you. Okay, mentally he or she has taken an stress, but still there are lot of challenges which are persisting in the country. Clear about it? So, what is the global impact? Out of 5 adults, 1 is mental health condition is what? Impacted. And what is the economic burden? According to WHO, there is loss of $1 trillion economy due to untreated mental health issues. And on the positive side, there is an growing awareness in India, but still there are many challenges which are persisting in the country. Now, what are the challenges? What challenges are persisting in the country? First is visibility and tangibility. Now, let's say if someone is having a disease or someone is physically ill, it is visible and easier to diagnose. Understand the point? If someone, let's say, is lying on the bed and lying on the bed with kidney failure, liver failure, then that person is visible and it can be easily diagnosed. Whereas mental health issues are often invisible. They aren't visible. They are with that person. Their feelings, their emotions, their struggle lies with that person. So leading to under recognition and misunderstanding. Neither the society, neither the parents, nor the friends recognize or they misunderstand those things. So that is the first thing. Okay, whenever it comes to the physical disabilities, or you can say the physical illness, they are visible as well as they are tangible. Understand the point? On the other side, if we look at the mental health issues, they are invisible and they are intangible. Intangible, which leads to what? Under recognition and misunderstanding. And second point is what are the challenge? Social stigma. Stigma causes shame and reluctance to seek help. Now you have seen at your level also, there might be some stress, there might be something in going inside your mind. You cannot discuss it with your parents or friends. Understand the point? So what is there? Okay, socially it is not acceptable. Socially it is considered what? It is considered as a stigma. So cultural attitudes in India often reinforce negative perceptions of mental illness, increasing social isolation. So this is our culture actually. Okay, whenever we think okay, someone is weak from the mind or someone is weak from the heart, and there is a mental pressure on that particular person, then there is a negative perception associated with it, and that negative perception results in what? Increasing social isolation. Okay, that person is what? Socially gets isolated from the society. Third is inadequate healthcare infrastructure. Now you know there are several shortage of mental health facilities, especially in rural areas. Rural areas, there is no mental facility with regard to, if someone in rural areas, let's say if someone will say, okay, I'll have a mental problem, then they will make fun of that person. And moreover, if someone wants to go to a psychiatrist, have you seen any psychiatrist in rural areas? So there is huge shortfall of psychiatrists when it comes to the rural areas in the country. Now next is existing facilities often lack resources for comprehensive continuous use. Now whatever facilities we are having with regard to mental care, they aren't enough, they aren't comprehensive, and continuous care is not taken. Fourth point, we can say there is lack of access, affordability and awareness. So 3 A's we are lacking. First is lack of accessibility is not there. Second is affordability is not there. Thirdly, awareness. Accessibility is not there means not enough psychiatrists are there. Awareness is not there. People are not aware about their mental health. And thirdly, we can say affordability. People don't have the capacity to afford psychiatrists. Actually, mental illness is considered as an rich man's disease on a positive. But now the stress is elevating to every nook and corner of the country. So it can be associated with what? Anyone. So according to National Mental Health Survey 2015-16, nearly 80% of the individuals with mental disorders did not receive treatment for over a year. Okay, for an even, now let's say if some disease has been diagnosed, so what we will do, we will look for the doctor and seek immediate treatment for that thing. But when it comes to mental health issues, 1 year, 2 year, it gets what? Okay, the treatment gets delayed. Even the person, that person which is having mental health issues, they don't visit the psychiatrist. So that is the point. Okay? Mental disorders do not receive treatment over a year. So it keeps going on with that person. Next, difficulty in measuring outcomes. So mental health intervention outcomes are often harder to quantify than those for physical health. Yes, physically, as we have discussed, they are visible things. They can be visible. They are visible in front of our eyes. Okay, yes, this has happened. But mental disorders, how we can diagnose, and in what quantity, what quality that person is thinking or taking the things on his or her mind or heart. That is the problem. Clear about it? So these are the 5 challenges. So the first challenge related to mental health care is visibility and tangibility. Because physical disabilities are visible, whereas mental invisible. Physical disabilities are tangible and mental are intangible, means they do not lead to what? Recognition, and at the end of the day it leads to misunderstanding. Second is social stigma. Social stigma causes what? Shame and reluctance. And what factor plays an important role in India? The cultural factor. it has a negative perception attached to the mental things. Third is healthcare support is not there, especially in context of what? Especially in context of rural areas. And fourth is lack of access, affordability and awareness. So what the National Mental Health Survey denotes? Nearly 80% of the individuals didn't get any mental support for more than an year, and difficulty in measuring outcomes. Now what government is doing? So first program Government of India adopted in 1982, that is National Mental Health Program. So it is there since 1982, and the focus was on providing quality care at the primary level. Includes health and wellness centers. Okay. Now the program of 1982 till 2025 has not been implemented. Look where we are. Okay, we have taken this approach in the year 1982. We are in 2025. No matter who the government is in power, okay? So still there is dearth of health and wellness centers in the country. Okay? Not basic medical facilities are existing. De-addiction centers, not there. Rehabilitation services, when people wants to come out of that thing, that is not there. So emphasize on what? Information, education and communication activities. So the main emphasis of this program was that people should be informed, they must be educated, and there must be communication with the people. But this is missing. Have you seen any health and wellness centers in your area? Have you seen? De-addiction centers are there, but they are very less. Thirdly, rehabilitation services are. So this is the first program, that is National Mental Health Program. And second program is National Health Policy 2014. So when Modi government came into power, this was the policy which was implemented. It advocated a participatory and right-based approach. Participatory, the involvement of everyone in it. What is the objective? Universal access to mental health care. Okay? Mental health care should get what? The universal accessibility. Second is decriminalization of suicide. So this is very important. Now let's say if someone is going for an suicide, can be considered as the last resort of anyone. Whenever anyone is attempting suicide, it means that person is mentally retarded, or you can say the peak of his or her mental ability has been at utmost, that he cannot survive now, he or she cannot survive. So what in this national mental health policy, what the government has done, suicide will not be criminalized, it will be decriminalized. Now let's say if one person is trying to perform suicide, and on the other side we are criminalizing him if he has survived, then it will put what? Extra burden. His mental health care will be severely affected. Understanding the point? So what government has done, if someone has done suicide, it shouldn't be criminalized, it should be decriminalized. Third is enhanced human resource availability. Human resources, improve services for vulnerable groups. So these are the objectives of Mental Health Policy 2017. So it advocates for what? The participatory and right-based approach. What are the objectives? First is universal access to mental health care services. Second is decriminalization of suicide. Third is human resource availability should be enhanced. And last is okay. So now you have to remember, this is the first program ever implemented in the country with regard to mental health care, that is National Mental Health Program. Now after 1982 there was second program in the year 2014, and accordingly government again came with an Mental Health Care Act 2017. It provided a legal framework to protect the rights of individuals with mental illness. Those who are suffering from mental illness, they should be provided what? They should be provided the legal framework. So this Mental Health Care Act 2017 is aligned with UN Convention on Right of Persons with Disability. So it has international collaboration. We have internationally linked this act with UN Convention. Next is Kiran Helpline. it was there in 2020. So during the COVID times, it was a 24/7 toll-free helpline to support individuals facing anxiety, stress, depression and suicidal thoughts. So Government of India, it is Government of India's helpline, that is Kiran helpline. So 24/7 toll-free service is there with regard to these things. It was launched by which ministry? Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. Now if you look closely now, the issues of anxiety, the cases of depression, they have been largely aggravated after the COVID-19. Before COVID-19 it was less. Understanding the point? So after COVID-19, mental health issues have been expanded to but a larger extent. Next is Tele Manas Seva. Provides tele denotes what? Okay, you don't want to visit the doctor or psychiatrist physically. You can consult the doctor on a phone. That is known as what? Tele. So Tele Manas Seva provides free tele mental health services nation. If you want to discuss anything, because now the crux of the issues is how mental health problems can be resolved. Anyone? Let's say if someone is having a mental health problem, how it will be resolved? Communication. Or on a positive side, we can say by talking, by telling our feelings. But okay, this is the feeling we are getting, this is how we are getting emotional, this is how we are getting pain, and in that amount we are getting happy. So there must be someone. Understanding the point? So this is the very first thing when it comes to national mental. So here what is there? Free tele mental health services will be there at the national level, and aims to open at least one Tele Manas cell in every state or UT, especially in remote areas. Clear about it? So 5 government initiatives are there with regard to this thing. So first is National Mental Health Program since 1982. So it provided for quality healthcare at the primary level, and it includes what? Health and wellness centers and de-addiction centers and rehabilitation centers. So emphasis on IEC, that is information, communication and education. And second was mental health policy 2014. So what it incorporated? Participatory and right-based approach. What were the objectives? Universalization should be there. Second, decriminalization. Third is enhance human resources and improve services for. And government again came with Mental Health Care Act 2000. So it provided a legal framework and it has alignment with UN Convention. Okay. Now look, here we have Mental Health Care Act 2007. Legal means now the insurance companies are taking the physical illness along with what? They are at par. They will be considered at par with the mental illness because of this act, which was incorporated in the year 2017. And next is, what is the helpline? Kiran helpline. And what is the, when someone wants to go for tele mental health care services, that is Tele Manas Seva. Now what is the way forward? Look, first and foremost thing is, no, I have told you earlier also, no business, no organization, no program, this requires what? Funding. It cannot solely be on the basis of, you can say, awareness, and so government have to increase its what? Healthcare budget. India's healthcare budget is only 0.05% with regard to mental health. So only 0.0 out, let's say if we have given 10% to our healthcare, out of that 10%, 0.05% we are having only for mental health care, whereas in developed nation it is 5 to 18%. So this shows even government is not taking it in a serious manner, you can say. Government is what? Government is just focusing on what? Just focusing on the other sectors of healthcare. Let's say creating more hospitals, Ayushman Bharat, but mental care efforts are still not there from the government side. Second is community sensitization and awareness. Now, Government of India has launched Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. Swachh Bharat Abhiyan purpose was to promote cleanliness in the country. So similar lines we can promote Swachh Mansikta Abhiyan. So that is essential. Now Swachh Mansikta means that you should be free. Understanding the point? Training ASHA workers to engage in mental health outreach. ASHA workers can do that thing. ASHA workers had lot of positives in the country in context of pregnancy, in context of child care, in context of Anganwadi. So we can train ASHA workers in that regard. So ASHA workers can go what for the outreach programs in context of mental health outreach. And thirdly, there must be integration with primary health care. That is, ensure mental health services are accessible and prioritized. Now you know there are 3 A's where we are lacking. There is lack of accessibility, there is lack of affordability and awareness. So that is the thing. So what we have to do, these should be integrated with the primary health care and leverage technology. Technology means telemedicine. If someone, let's say if someone is sitting in a remote area in a country and he has to come, let's say 250 kilometers to visit the doctor, then it should not be considered as a viable option. What should be there? Telemedicine. Through phone he or she can consult. So telemedicine and digital platforms can extend services, especially in underdeserved areas with few professionals. Clear about it? So these are the things we must do in order to reduce mental health issues in the country. First, government funding should be increased. How much we are spending? Second is community sensitization. So campaigns like which Swachh Mansikta Abhiyan, and we should take the help of NGOs like ASHA workers. And thirdly, primary health care should be integrated for what? Accessibility and prioritization. And last is technology should be used in order to forward telemedicine as well as digital platforms can extend services. Clear about it? So this is the first topic of the day and very important topic. Secondly, we're gonna again discuss about it. That is mental health in India. There should be some similar points here, so we'll be ignoring those points. And what is mental health? Now look, mental health is more than the absence of mental illness. Do you agree? Mental health is more than the absence of mental illness. So whenever we are considering about the mental health, so let's say, I'll say that person is mentally ill. That person is mentally ill. Then you can say his mental health is not good. But is that the only thing which is there in mental health? It is beyond mental illness. There are so many factors when we are considering about this thing. So it's not only about mental illness. Other than mental illness, there are numerous factors associated with it. It includes mental well-being. Second is prevention of disorders, treatment and rehabilitation. So this includes all these things. Because if someone is mentally ill, what is the state of his or her mental well-being? How he or she is preventing disorders associated with mental health? Thirdly, how he or she is getting treatment and how he or she is getting rehabilitation. Rehabilitation means how that mental illness of that particular person can be reduced with the help of doctors, with the help of community services. So that is the point. Clear about it? Okay. So next is WHO estimates. So what is the burden? WHO 2,443 disability adjusted life years per 10,000 people in India. So how many disabled persons are there in India? if we look at the 10,000 figure, there are 2,443. Suicide rate, age adjusted rate. What is the suicide rate? 21.1 per 1 lakh population. So out of 1 lakh population in India, 21.1 people go for what? Suicide. And what is the economic loss? We have already discussed, that is 1 trillion. Now look, it is according to WHO. India is labeled as the world's most depressing country by WHO. Understanding the points? Most depressive individuals are living in which country? It is living in. Now there are two ways of studying this thing. It is beyond this topic. Now we say religion is a very positive force. You all think that religion is a very positive force. It keeps us this thing. It gives us positivity. It keeps us aligned with our values. So if a religion is a positive force, India is mainly a religious country. So then how religion has not been able to reduce the depression? Path, puja, everyone does. Everyone does now. So then why India is the world's most depressing country? This can be a question. We say that we are religious, we have faith in God. If we are keeping everything on that Almighty, on then God, then why we are overthinking? Why we are mentally ill? Why we are becoming more materialistic? Anyone has a question, answer it, then you can participate. Huh?
So I think
Religion can't? But religion has a huge positivity.
because economic burden is not associated with the religious.
Economic burden is not the first point. The first point is thinking. Overthinking leads to economic burden.
Means expectations are more.
It is not, expectations will be there. Think about the labor class. Let's say if he is not employed for a single day, how he is going to feed his family? That is a mental burden. What he is expecting only 600 rupees per day.
So
If
that is why there is overthinking. Means expectations are there.
Expectation is when something is met, then you are expecting more. Something is not met for that person, then how you can call that expectation? Rupees 600 is not an expectation, it is a necessity. How it can be an expectation? ठीक है ना? So that is the point. Now, what are the key issues in mental health care in India? First is, this is very important. Lack of people with mental health issues are often labeled as lunatics or criminals by the society. So people look at from the criminal perspective. Okay, his or her mental condition has declined. He or she is what a biggest fool in this country. Understanding the point? So this is so community mind setup should be very sensitive about this thing. This is we have studied. That is lack of access, affordability, and awareness. Stigma around mental illness that we have studied led to vicious cycle of shame, isolation, and suffering. That is the point. Okay? If let's say if someone is having a mental illness, he or she will be getting shame in the society. Shame will lead to isolation. Isolation will lead to suffering. So this families often refuse to take recovered patient back, fearing societal judgment. Even some discard their children also. Okay, we don't want, or an old person, okay, that person has become mentally ill. Now our house environment is getting affected. So this is how the society treats. Thirdly, there is shortage of workforce. Now as per the WHO data, there are 0.301 psychiatrists. So very less psychiatrists are available. 0.047 psychiatrists per 1 lakh population. Okay? Lack of state services and insurance. That is what we have studied. Okay, now the physical illness will be treated at par with mental illness. So earlier mental health treatment mostly involves out of pocket expenses because insurance doesn't cover mental illness. So what patient has to do from his personal pocket, from his personal belongings, he has to get his treatment. Minimal or no insurance coverage worsens the burden on vulnerable population. Now what vulnerable population will do? Let's say those who are hand to mouth and they get a mental health disorder. They'll be feeding their families or they'll be going for the treatment. So they'll be the worst sufferers in this regard. So low government budget allocation, we have already studied. Economic burden, already studied. So what is the required intervention? Active policy and funding, studied. How much India is spending? 0.05%. Second is community sensitization, we have already. Peer support networks, yes. Create patient to patient support groups. That is why I have told you. Okay, whenever you are expressing your feelings, you have someone to express, then anxiety, disorder, mental illness, they all go away. So equal access to care. Ensure mental illness is treated like physical illness, which has been done. Insurance inclusion. Now it has been included. Now it has been covered in the insurance plans also. So this is we have studied. Government initiatives we have covered. National health policy, mental health care act, and now what are the challenges to implementation? First is non-compliance with Ministry of Home Affairs regulation. Mental health authority. Non-compliance with mental health authorities regulations. Now many states do not establish state mental health authorities. So there is a provision that every state in India should establish what? Mental health authority. And many states in India haven't established the state mental health authorities. Second is minimum standards for facilities not yet notified in several states. So what should be the minimum requirement in order to tackle with mental health care? That has not been notified in many of the states in India. Lack of community-based services, few halfway homes, rehab centers or assisted living options. Shelters remain under-equipped, staff untrained. Okay? Now the thing is, whenever someone is dealing with a mental illness, the staff should be very sensitive. If someone is, let's say, if someone is speaking in a harsh language because of his or her mental condition, then the nurse or that particular staff should treat that person with very easy language or very sensitive manner. But that is not there because our staff is under-trained in that manner. And second is shelters remains under-equipped is there. So police and magistrate reference. 55.4% of patients refer by law enforcement. Now look, not that particular person is going. Law authorities are saying that person condition is not stable, send him for mental health care. Most have histories of homelessness, without home. They are having mental illness, poverty. Okay? And third is lack of family support. This is going to increase in the near future. I think this is a huge challenge for India. Family support. With due respect to all of you, if you can keep the morale of your parents high in the coming future after your marriage, I'll provide a salute to you. Otherwise, I think this generation gonna ruin the career of their parents. Okay? So they'll be without lack of family support. The reason why I'm saying traditional values are declining. You are becoming more materialistic. Posting on Father's Day, Happy Father's Day doesn't make a sense. Respecting your father 365, 24/7 gives a huge amount of thing. It's not about posting for a one day to make him happy. I haven't posted. So it means how much you love a person you don't need to show to the society. If you are showing to the society, then it means you are showing to the society more rather than respecting. So it's better to respect throughout the year. Whenever they are aggressive, don't utter a word in front of them. Just go your like this. And whenever they are relaxed, then try to tell them, okay, this is the thing you have said wrong to me at that particular time. But I haven't reacted. Huh? This is father. Understanding the point? So, this is gonna increase. Lack of family support. Next is social stigma. Mental illness still seen as a criminal condition. Family abandon women more frequently due to domestic violence, marital discord. So that is the point. Families, majority of the family, they abandon the woman because of what domestic violence issues as well as what marital discord. Now let's say if some woman is having a mental illness and that person is trying to curb that particular woman in a particular house, and there might be a conflict which may lead to domestic violence, and in a marriage there can be a marital discord also. So that is the thing. So women are at more risk. What is the way forward? We should strengthen the implementation of MHA 2017, establish and empower mental health rehabilitation boards and state mental health authorities. Community-based care system should be developed. Insurance and financial support should be covered. Gender-sensitive care should be ensured, and we should invest in mental health care infrastructure and training of professionals. So this is about your everything related to your mental health. Thank you. Mental health issues in India. Mental health issues in India requires robust support from the government. Requires robust support from the government. ROBUST. Robust support from the government, especially in context of modern evils / trends prevalent in society.